Here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the update. This is our channel.
This is our
We're the
channel.
Swolemates.
We're the Swolemates.
Well, we're not the first, but
no.
We're the best. So anyway, we are here for our weekly update, and I guess just kind of an update on what's your week been. We'll probably have a I think I have to do pictures again next weekend, so I'll probably have a more thorough update right now. I told y'all the last couple of times that I feel like my progress is like going nowhere, so I'm just kind of still the same. I think I've lost a little bit, but I'm getting ready to like just do stupid stuff. So one of the things we talked about was, we're kind of not off topic here a little bit, but Luke was talking about like when he competes again, and I'm the test run here for, you know, I have always been led to believe that we're kind of different body types. We were talking about that this morning too. So I am more of an ectomorph. He is more of a mesomorph. So he gains muscle a heck of a lot easier than I do. I have a really hard time gaining muscle. Y'all know, if you have been around here in this channel for a while, you know I'm always trying to add muscle and gain, and it's super hard. So
me too.
Well, it's not that hard for him though.
Oh, that's baloney.
No. So, but we were talking about this, and so, you know, when you're cutting and you're trying to lose body fat, the theory is, you know, you want slower because to preserve muscle loss. But there is also a school of thought that says you can have a more drastic cut with planned refeed meals, etc. Right?
And like diet breaks.
Yeah,
so
like diet breaks, refeed meals. So you can
several coaches that I've watched some of their stuff they're strictly natural coaches that they talk about doing it like that. And so it's worth a try, because I've always done it the other way with the really long and slow, and it really hasn't worked for me.
I think it depends where you are. So, you know, the whole theory is you can have more of a drastic calorie cut with refeeds, and it makes it almost, it depends on the person too. It's like it almost makes it more manageable to know, okay, look, I'm going like 6 days hard, you know, whatever, I have a refeed meal and then go at it again. Yeah. Right? It's almost better mentally.
I think the theory behind it is it's supposed to like not trick, but we're going to use that as a word, trick your metabolism.
I think the problem
not slowing down so much.
Well, and when you stay really low calories for a long time, your metabolism is going to adjust anyway. So having that in there makes it less likely to stall as far as your metabolism goes. I think for me, it makes it more bearable versus, I mean, yeah, it's better to go slow, and then your calories aren't cut as hard, but it's also just kind of a grueling process anyway. And I think it's something that you sort of have to accept, right? Like when you're cutting for a competition, it's going to be hard and it's going to suck.
Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck, for real. But our main topic we wanted to talk to you about today was, and of course we don't post these aren't up until
but Happy New Year, because today is the day after New Year's Day. So Happy New Year.
So yeah,
You're not going to see this.
You won't see this till probably Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. Okay, so anyway, usually Valentine's Day is when the gyms start clearing back out. And that's kind of,
I think they stay longer than that.
Maybe February, maybe end. Anyway.
It's like March.
I don't know. Depends.
April.
So we want to talk about, you know, how do you set yourself up for success in reaching your goals? So we're specifically talking about, you know, physique goals. If you have, you know, body composition, you want to change, if you want to lose fat, gain muscle, whatever, how do you set yourself up for success? Because one of the biggest things with resolutions is that people set resolutions, and we've talked about SMART goals before. And I always say, like, you should always have goals in mind anyway, but resolutions, most of the time people make them way far out there, and they're not a SMART goal. They're not realistic. And so they quit.
Yeah, we talked about realistic goals last time. Yeah.
They all
So
kind of
you
blend
guys-
to me also.
If you guys, well, I'm just saying like that we were just rolling
Be
into
sure
this.
you watch that one.
Watch that one before you watch this one, 'cause you're gonna want to know all about realistic goals.
You should watch all of the videos
Yeah,
and
you
go
should.
back to number one.
And
You got to
subscribe.
go in order,
And
right?
like, yeah.
Yes, please do that because you help us. We want to grow. Okay, so how can you be? How can you set yourself up for success in your goals? I think a lot of people with resolutions, as I said, make them unrealistic, but they quit too soon. The reason that they quit is because they've made it too far out there. It's too far away. The goals, so they're not having those short-term goals set up. They've just got this big long-term goal.
I think those short-term goals are really important.
Super important
for staying successful with your long-term goal.
Yeah, but if you just have the short-term goal like set up, I mean, if you just had the long-term goal set up, then you're going to get frustrated because it's going to seem like it's taken too long. So you got to have their short-term goals in place too. So the short term is going to lead to the long term, but you want to have small measurable things along the way. So
yeah, like the easiest way would be to think about it like your goal is to run a half marathon, and you're not a runner at all, right? Like this is you saying for the new year you're going to run a half marathon by the end of the year. Well, I mean, you're not just going to go out tomorrow and run 10 miles. So think about it like
gonna die.
The very first time, your first goal would be like, I ran a mile without stopping. And then that goal would turn to 2 miles, would turn to, see how that works? Those are your short-term goals for your big goal. But
you
that
build
way,
on.
you feel like you've accomplished something with each of your little goals. In the gym, it may be you want to bench press 225. You've never bench pressed 225. So, there's your goal, but you can't just stack 225 on there and go bench press it, or like think that if somebody assists you and takes most of the weight off of you and you do that every time, that one of these days you won't need somebody to do that. It's not going to work. So you have to have little goals for each one of those. Yeah, that's those little goals.
Example.
The little goals, yeah.
So, setting yourself up for success obviously goes into your goal setting, right? But to get to those goals, I feel like you need to have small daily tasks that you do, right? So things kind of become habit that you do on a daily basis. If you have a goal, whatever it may be, like, we're just going to say for the sake of this channel that it is, it's either a strength, some kind of fitness goal, physique goal, something in that realm. If you have that type of a goal, like he said, you can't just jump to that, right? So you have to have the smaller things, but there are also things that are going to set you up for success. So like my number one thing, let's just say if we had numbers, if it was the top, whatever, my number one thing I said is getting consistent sleep, because I swear to y'all, most people do not get enough sleep at all,
or consistent,
or it's all over the place. Yeah. So like in college students, in my college classes, they had to keep a sleep log and a stress log every day. Of course, they probably didn't do it as well as they were supposed to. However, I did notice a lot of patterns, and that was, if they had something big coming up, and this could be like for you, it just might be something that's stressful in your life, but you have less sleep, then you have more, then you have less, then you might have more, less. it's all over the place, right? So you want to be as consistent as possible with sleep. And why is that so important? Why is that so important? Why is sleep so important?
Because you grow when you sleep.
Okay, yes, you grow when you sleep. So, your body's going to do a lot of things.
Hormone stuff happens.
This is huge. Okay, so, growth hormone is released, when you sleep. Your hormones are reset when you sleep. Your brain is basically reset when you sleep. Your brain is not even going to function right if you don't get enough sleep. And a lot of people are just chronically sleep deprived. Therefore, they feel like they're fine because that's just what they're used to, but they're not functioning optimally. And your body also, if you are really lacking sleep, you're not going to lose fat as easy. Like you will not, you're going to start, your hormones don't reset. You will store cortisol, which will store fat. It's going to be harder for you to lose body fat if you're sleep deprived. So sleep is really, really important. And I don't think enough people understand how important it is, but I would put that as like really important for your success, to kind of get yourself on a regular schedule. Even if you're only getting like 7 hours of sleep a night, have it be regular. It can't be like 4 or 5 hours a night and then you try to make up for it on the weekends, because it doesn't work. It needs to be like the same kind of daily pattern. So like I said, put your phone away from your bed. Don't be scrolling at bedtime, because it just keeps you awake.
Yeah, and that's good.
You got anything to add on sleep?
I don't have a problem with it.
Well, you kind of do. You don't sleep very well.
I don't have a problem going to sleep.
You have a problem staying asleep. I have a problem going to sleep. He has trouble staying to sleep. He wakes up early. I do not. But I mean, I generally am pretty close to the same schedule most days. Like I'm usually within an hour or something of going to bed most nights, and usually an hour or so of getting up. Anyway, now it could be like, I mean, I might have an extra hour of sleep or something in there every now and then. Sorry about that, y'all. But that's probably my number one thing in success, because people don't really realize that. And my second thing would probably be to be successful is like to make a plan. I really feel like you have to have a plan for most things. Like you have to have, we talked about having a workout plan in place. Your meal plan or your nutrition should be in place. One of the worst things I see happen is when people don't plan their food whatsoever. Even if you have just a general outline of what your meals are going to be for the day, if you know you have to take stuff with you, then you need to be prepared. Yeah. One of the worst things you can do is to leave your house for the day, have no plan, you haven't eaten breakfast. What is going to happen, y'all, if you got like donuts and crap at work? You're going to eat the donuts because you're hungry. You have no protein at all for the day. This is what I see. This is what I see happen, y'all, with my clients. Well, I didn't have time to eat.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't have food at the office. So like plan, like Sunday is a great prep day. Like if you're not, and you don't even have to prep food. I am not a huge food prepper myself. He's usually the one that does more prepping than I do, but I still have a plan, and I'm really good at hitting my macros. And like, I know things to have, and I know things that I can take with me. So having things that are readily available to you, like kind of emergency foods, don't go to work and like not have eaten anything. Like my saving grace when I was teaching and had to go running out the door in the mornings, what did I have like every day?
She had like coffee with egg whites in it and some Carb Master milk.
And what else?
I don't know, probably a scoop of ump
No,
somewhere in
I
there.
didn't
No,
have, I didn't have
no.
no. I would say my general go-to was, and this is like not prepping, but I would still like, okay, so I would generally have a piece of flax and fiber toast
yeah,
or
toast,
wheat bread with like a tablespoon of natural peanut butter on it. Sometimes a banana, a half a banana mashed up on it too. So like peanut butter and banana toast,
Yeah.
because I could take that in the car with me. And then in my to-go cup for coffee was coffee, liquid egg whites, and carb master milk. And I've had probably 30 plus protein.
Well,
in
she
that.
also has like her first cup of coffee's got collagen in it.
Oh yeah, so that's
and
another
Carb Master milk. So she's already had
some
Carb Master
and this was just like my school schedule when I
Yeah.
had to like be quick, but I would still have something. I would not ever leave. And y'all know when I'm going to school, like this is when I was teaching at high school, middle school. This was not this fall, the fall before, this was 2020. Okay, so because of COVID and everything, like none of the kids went to the cafeteria. The ladies came around with the lunch, with the breakfast food. So here, and this is what happened like after my competition was over. Holly, you want some of this? And so it'd be like, these are like the country ladies that make the homemade biscuits and gravy. And that's like what they would be serving for breakfast, right? And it's like, well, shoot, sure, I'll take some of that.
I'll get some of that.
But if you don't have a plan and you don't take something with you,
you're going to eat the crap.
You're going to eat that like every day. Now, I mean, I don't do that because I've just done this long enough that I don't. But if you're hungry and you're not prepared,
I'll tell you what, even
it's
if you're
bad.
not hungry,
well, that's
you'll
good
eat
stuff.
the crap. I mean, it's just, that's really hard to avoid. And, you know, that's part of you going to have to.
We talk about consistency all the time, right? But planning is what is going to make you consistent. If you do not plan these things, if you don't plan your gym time, if you don't plan your meals, if you don't plan your sleep, if you don't plan to get ready to be, you know, it's planning to be consistent. And that's how you're going to be successful. I can't remember. Those were my main things.
You
but
had the third one. You said the third one. What was your third one?
Well, that was 3 already. So I had sleep. I had
sleep and planning.
I had sleep. I had planning your workouts, but also planning your meals.
Planning your workouts.
I wrote this down.
I just basically drift from one day to the other.
Well, so like, you know,
I know what I'm doing as far as my workouts. I know what my macros are supposed to be for the day. But I really do like when I'm not in prep, and it's just every normal day, I can plan my meals that I take with me to lunch, to work for like lunch and snacks or whatever. I'll have those planned, and I know what I'm going to have for breakfast, and then it's like, well, dinner I kind of figure out or whatever, and then clean up the rest of my macros in the evening. But once I get to the weekend, it's like everything I've prepped is gone. And I'll tell you, I usually don't have a plan on the weekend, and it's garbage. It's really hard. So I mean, like what she's saying, I mean, you got to have a plan, or
you really need a plan on the weekend.
I mean, like I know what I'm doing, and I have trouble, you know. So if you're just starting out and you want your goals to be successful, you want to be successful reaching your goals, you've got to have it all planned out every day. Because I mean, I've been doing this, and man, when it comes to the weekend, if I don't have a plan for the weekend, it's done. You know, I don't eat breakfast until like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then scrambling to try and figure out the rest of my macros for the day, and then I eat something that I'm like, whatever, I'll just go over it. And I eat something, you know, way too much fat. You know,
yeah, you need a plan like for the weekend too. I generally don't eat until later on the weekend too. I don't have any trouble like getting all of my macros in, but normally I will have actually a bigger breakfast on the weekends anyway, especially like on Saturday, because it's a lifting day. So I will typically take the time and I might make like protein pancakes or protein waffles or something. And I don't do that like during the week because I'm just in a hurry to leave most of the time. So it varies, but I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, your weekends can be different. Like a lot of people that I have trained in the past are like, oh, well, it's the weekend. I want to, let loose and, relax. Well, that doesn't mean you need to throw all your goals out the window. You can still hit your stuff, but you kind of just have to plan a little bit. Like you can even go out. You can go out to eat for breakfast, but you got to know what you're going to have. I recommend always, looking at the menu for places you're going to go if you're going to go out to eat for breakfast, just so you have an idea of what you're going to order. I'll typically like narrow it down to like 2 or 3 things and know like that could fit. Now, I mean, I'm probably not going to be 100% accurate in what I track, but I know what my best choices are going to be when I go there. If I go there and I'm hungry, then I'm probably not going to, and I haven't even looked at anything ahead of time, I'm probably not going to make the best choices. Right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
But so my last thing was, planned rewards. So setting yourself up for success, you need to have a reward for like your work that you've put in, right? And it shouldn't be like reward yourself with food, because that's not going to help you like with your physique goals. But it could be something like, all right, let's say I'm looking at, if y'all look at my Instagram page, so by the way, my Instagram is Fit with Holly, but I posted something January 1st, like this is your January calendar. Think about like if you're looking at your whole calendar, look at like January and February, right? Set up, like write on your calendar, how many days of the week are you supposed to train? Give yourself a check when you've hit your meals for the day. It can be something simple, but maybe after like 8 weeks of staying on goal, you have like a new workout outfit, or you get a massage or something that like is a reward for your work. That's not like calories. So that's just some of my thoughts in how you can set yourself up
I don't ever get
for success.
Reward.
You get rewards.
What reward do I get?
Hey. I am the reward. I mean, that should be enough.
That's pretty good.
So you got anything to add? I feel like I've talked the whole time here.
She's talked a lot, but she had this one. She's been talking about this one all day.
Yeah, but you were in it too. But you're not adding anything.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Got?
I added
you
the stuff. Something. I was like what? I don't know.
Anything else you think you need to do
you need
to be successful?
Stubborn.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about consistent. You have to be stubborn.
You got to be stubborn.
Extent. Y'all know, and stubborn. I think the biggest stubbornness thing you have to have is just sticking to your guns when it comes to like family or friends that want you to do everything else besides what you need to do to stick to your goals, because there are always people who are wanting you to like go drinking or go have this. I made this. Okay. I made this especially for you.
Yeah,
it's your favorite.
I mean, I come from a family that makes amazing food.
His mom is
my mom.
It's ridiculous.
My sisters.
Well, yes, and they're like the cheesecake.
I'm telling
they're
you
the cheesecake ladies, y'all. I mean, it's like okay.
My sister Amanda makes amazing cheesecakes. My sister Heather makes all kinds of amazing stuff, and my mom makes all kinds of stuff. I mean, when I'm in prep, it's almost like, dang it, I can't eat that. And shoot, this last time we went up there a couple times, and I was like,
they're so understanding.
They understand now. They didn't used to understand, but now it's like,
didn't either.
And it's even now it just gets hard. And you're there and you have all that food. You got to be stubborn. If you're not stubborn enough,
be committed. Like commit to your goals. I mean, like I tell people, y'all, the food is always going to be there.
If you,
There's always an occasion.
yeah,
There's always going to be
something.
food.
But like if you're, if you have like a planned cheat meal, not a cheat day, a cheat meal. If you got a planned cheat meal 3 weeks, 2 weeks from now, whatever, like that, that's not too far out. And you friends are asking you to go out and eat at this place or whatever, tonight. Don't be afraid to be like, well, yeah, I can't do that. Or don't be like that where you're like, well, I'll just take my cheat meal for 2 weeks from now and I'll just have it tonight. No, because you're gonna end up cheating again. It's just
have a plan, stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan.
And like you don't have to explain all of your stuff to
People
everybody.
aren't gonna
Like
understand it.
they're not gonna get it. Like he said, it took his family a while. It probably took my mom 4 times as long as his mom to even understand what was going on. All I got was the questions of, why are you doing this, Holly? I mean, what are you doing? And nobody gets it, right? And here's the thing, most of the people who don't want you to stick to your goals,
they're jealous.
They know that they can't do it. Like they're wanting to do what you do, but they're really not going to have that commitment. So they try to and it's not always intentional. But they will derail you.
If they can, then they will, and then you're back down where they are. And
people don't want you to succeed.
They don't want you to succeed. Yeah, I mean, even a lot of your friends are not going to want you to succeed, and you just gotta keep on doing your thing. You'll have some good friends they'll be supportive of you. But yeah, so stubborn. That's probably the one thing I've got to add to that. That's just
stubborn, committed.
Stubborn. Be too stubborn to quit.
Yeah. And it's okay. Like nothing is going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
Probably not even half the time, but it's the consistency. We talk about this all the time. You have to be stubborn. You have to be committed to your goals. If something happens that knocks you off a little bit, just get right back on. Like most of the time, just like with resolutions, people quit because they don't see it soon enough. And then you're just right back where you were, or even further away from your goal. Whereas if you just hop right back on, it's not even going to matter. But people use the all or nothing, well, screwed up, so now it's pointless.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You just go right back. Just get back on the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like you said, don't wasn't be too serious. You just said you don't have to be so precise on everything. Yeah, I used to feel like I had to be so precise on everything, and everything had to be so precise. And it really helped when I went, no, it doesn't.
It's consistency. Consistency matters more than perfection. Like, let's say your macros are off, 2-3 days. But here's the thing. Let's say your fat goal was, I don't know, let's say your fat goal was 60 grams a day, and you went over I'm throwing a number out there, 100, I don't know, whatever it may be. But let's say you're 10 over. Okay, well, what do you do? It's not a make or break thing. Whereas tomorrow, if you said screw it, the next day, you'd probably be 40, 50 over, right? Whereas if you just got right back on track, it can even out. It will be fine. It's not going to kill you. To be a little bit off, things can be adjusted. Look at it this way. If I were 10 over on fat today, I could really be 2 under for a couple of days, and I'm right where I was supposed to be anyway, right? But if I look at that 10 as, oh my Lord, it's terrible, I was way off, then I quit, then I probably had 100 extra grams of fat over the next 5 days.
Well, and I mean, you could say that about everything as far as being precise on stuff, like finishing your macros with zeros, or like weighing stuff, or, out, or how much exactly does a cup of something weigh? I mean, just pick a number. I used to try and figure out exactly what milk weighed or water weighed, or, I mean, it's like, just pick a number. Like, okay, well, 240 is pretty close to what a cup of water weighs. So it's like 240 grams, cup of water. There you go. Not that I'm weighing water out, but like milk,
He's weighing
I
up the
used
water,
to, I
y'all,
used
because
to
it
pour it
matters.
into a measuring cup and like exactly how much does that weigh? Oh my God. How much does this other one weigh? Just as long as you're consistent with what you're doing, it's
Be
you don't have
consistent.
to
That was
you don't have
another
to
thing I was
delve,
talking about. I was like,
you don't have to delve so much into, you're not being so precise. You're not like concocting some
it's not a
chemical
formula.
in a
I mean, it
chemistry
is
class
kind of.
where if you're 1 gram off on something, you make mustard gas. I mean, it's that's just what it is. Be consistent. Don't feel like you have to be so precise about everything. It's
Be
not
flexible,
it's not rocket
because
science.
it's not about perfection. Be flexible, learn to like roll with things. Don't get all stressed out, freaking
Yeah.
out. Stress is going to be worse than anything. And y'all know, I have learned this the hard way, that like stress is terrible, like terrible for your physique goals. Like sometimes you just got to like let things just roll off of you sometimes, just like
Duck back.
numbers, just like the numbers. Just like, you're not always going to have a stellar workout. You might not always beat the weight you used last time. You might not get more reps. You might have like just a sucky workout. Does that mean you quit? No.
I mean, look, people, I roll up into the gym like yesterday. It was leg day. I rolled up in there. I felt like my blood sugar was low. Looked at my Dexcom app. My blood sugar was like 360.
You could have quit.
I could have quit.
Or
when
I'm
in
that
there,
was too high.
I'm in there all the
too
time.
Low.
My blood sugar's
always
low.
low.
I could quit.
Always low. Well, he's really stubborn.
Yeah,
so.
I'm super stubborn. You ain't gonna meet somebody more
he's
stubborn
too
than me.
stubborn. Well, yeah,
you ain't gonna.
I'm probably close, but
probably
not.
But I could quit. I could be like, well, don't. So if you have a bad workout, don't
get the days in. Just do it. If you miss one, make it. I mean, just do it the next day. Like it's not about what you do perfectly every day. It's about what you do day in and day out, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decades.
Oh my God.
It takes a long time. And like, so where do you want to be? Like, that's the question. Why do you even want to do it? If you're going to be like, well, it's taking too long, why? Because like, God, y'all, I'm old and I'm still doing it and I still have goals and I still plan on getting better. But if it's like, no, I just did this one thing and quit, well, then where am I going to be? My health is going to probably do nothing but get worse the rest of my life. And I don't want to do that. Like, I want to get better. So I'm trying to like.
How do you know that? I just thought about that one for
what?
Success, for keys to success would be like if you have a fitness goal, like a physique goal, you want to lose this weight or whatever, is she's always talking about, make sure you take your progress pics. Take your pics in the mirror. They're just for you, on your phone or whatever. You don't have to show them to anybody. You don't have to send them to anybody. It's not like.
But you might be surprised.
But you
like later.
Stick with your goals, and every week you take those progress pics,
or just even every month,
and
once a month.
What it'll show you should be enough. If you're doing it correctly, that would be a good like marker to how successful you're being at whatever your goal is. Or a workout log. I used to keep one, then I quit keeping one, and now I'm back to keeping one. She's always had one. She has boxes of workout logs from the 90s.
I got workout logs from the 90s.
I mean, so if you keep a log, yeah, you're probably going to be one of the very few people in the gym. I mean, I'm about the only one other than her that I see in the gym writing shit down.
I like writing stuff down. Now, like you
but-
can use an app, and I've used an app too.
I
Or
don't
like
like any of
if
the
I
apps,
don't have,
but if you write it down, you
well,
can go
I'll
back
write
and
it
you
on
can
my
look at it.
notepad
And
sometimes
so
too,
that
like
goes
even
back to
in my
that, if you
phone.
were trying to get to a certain, you know, bench press or a certain squat or a certain deadlift, you know, you can go back and look at your progress.
Y'all be amazed. I mean, I got workout logs that I found like from, I mean, it was probably decades ago, at least 10 years ago, where like I was like chest pressing like what I do now, like with bicep curls. And that was like,
Yeah.
it was like, can you believe I did that? I was like, you know, I don't even know what it was, but it was not much compared to what I do now. It was probably a third of what I do now. Now, if I never wrote that stuff down, you know, in your mind, you're just going to be like, oh, I'm about where I was, but you're really not.
Yeah.
Just like looking at pictures, you're really not where you think you were. You look at yourself every day in the mirror, you don't see the changes. So, you know, it's always good just to have comparisons, even if you don't. I don't like taking pictures either. I've said this before. Just do it.
From April of 2016 that she took in the kitchen of the house I lived in at the time. Me doing a rear double bicep, and she took this picture. Yeah, it was in my kitchen. And then I tell you what, what I look like now is not what that picture is.
So we like to recreate these sometimes, you know, and like do another one, try to find like something similar or like just the same pose, you know, because it's really fun.
Yeah.
To like, because you don't see it.
So there's your, I mean, your progress pics. You know, you don't see it if you look at yourself in the mirror every single day.
You never think anything's
you
changing.
Look exactly the same to yourself all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, those progress pics or a log book. Those are huge.
So the main things with it, I think, you know, being successful, stick with it, be stubborn, be consistent, give it time, track it, like gauge your progress, you know, that's a big one. But you got to just, y'all, it takes a long time. So like your time's going to pass regardless, right? Like hopefully, you know, God willing, February's going to be here, March is going to be here, April's going to be here. It's all going to go.
Yeah, you're going to be living all this time anyway. So, you might as well be working on your goals.
Right. Why not change for the better? You know, you don't just like throw in the towel and say it's not happening. Well, guess what? If you quit, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
You're going the opposite way.
Anybody can quit.
Yeah. So anyway, if you have comments, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. Like and subscribe. You got anything else you want to add?
No.
So we hope you all have a wonderful new year, or by the time you see this, we hope you are on the good path, you know, to reaching your goals. Consistency, longevity, good health. We wish y'all all that. And let us know if you have questions. We'll talk to you soon.